Hi, I'm Kaylee, and today I'm going to be ranking my favorite Jane Austen novels. So I am a huge fan of Jane Austen. I have reread her works many times, and today I'm going to be ranking those 6 novels based on my least favorite to my favorite. Now this is really hard to do because I love all her books. They are all 5 stars. They are all wonderful. I have favorite characters that I just adore. So this is quite difficult to actually say this one's better than that one. They're all wonderful. They're all fantastic. So for the very first one that I want to talk about, I actually want to give kind of like an honorable mention to Sanditon. This one I really enjoyed, but Jane Austen never finished it. This is an edition that another modern author kind of took what Jane Austen had started and then completed the novel, how they thought Jane Austen might have completed it. And I loved it. And I really couldn't tell where Jane Austen's writing began or where the other person's writing began. But of course, most of this was not written by Jane Austen. So I feel like I want to give it just an honorable mention and a little tear for what might have been if only Jane Austen had been able to finish it. And I'm not really going to be talking about Love and Friendship and some of her other juvenilia, or Lady Susan, the Watsons, or any of those, because those aren't really completed works. And I'm just going to be really ranking the main 6 novels. Okay. So right at the bottom of this list is Northanger Abbey, unfortunately. The first time I read Northanger Abbey, I did not like it, and the second time that I read it, I liked it a lot better. The first time that I read it, I was very frustrated with Catherine's character. She's very naive and innocent, and I think that just bothered me. Like, why can't she see people's true character? Why is she so naive, and why is she so gullible and she believes them? But I think that really I was frustrated with myself because at the time that I first read it, I was young and innocent and naive and extremely gullible. So seeing those characteristics in myself that I did not like in myself in a character, then I didn't like that character because she embodied all the things that I did not like about myself. But now, as you can see, I am older and wiser, and I know myself a little better. And so Catherine doesn't bother me. One of the things I love about Catherine is that she is so fond of reading sensational novels. And she has a very overactive imagination. However, this is at the bottom of my list because I just feel like the plot is rather simplistic. There's just not a lot that really happens. And number 5 on my list is Mansfield Park, which I just finished reading. And you can tell I just finished reading it because I still have all my little sticky notes in there of things I wanted to remember. Again, this is a character who the first time that I read it really annoyed me. Fanny is very quiet and shy, and it seems like she has no backbone. Why doesn't she just stand up for herself? And that really annoyed me the first time that I read it. Now, this is a completely different reason why I didn't like Catherine for the first time. I am by no means quiet or shy or lacking in backbone. I am the very opposite of that. I am talkative and loud, and I will tell people exactly what I think, and I'm quite opinionated. However, my sister has always been very quiet and shy, and she has always annoyed me that way. Why won't you just speak up? Why won't you just say things? And so I think Fanny annoyed me because she reminded me of my sister. Isn't it insane how we just bring our own experiences into the books that we read? We can't just take it as it is. Somehow we have to, relate it to something in our lives, and then we like or dislike it based on that. But reading this the second time, I understand that Fanny's character is a lot more than just being quiet or shy. She has this inward strength and constancy that really gives her a lot of fortitude in difficult circumstances. Reading this for the second time, I really grew to love Fanny's character, and I found that she really does have some really good character development where she learns to speak out and she learns to stand up for herself. There are so many wonderful things in the plot and in the various characters in this book, and I'm not going to go into it because I just did a big review about this one. Still wonderful, but I prefer other books before this one. Number 4 on my list is Sense and Sensibility. One of the things I love about this story is the battle between sense and sensibility, the battle between logic and emotions, the battle between being cautious and taking risks. Eleanor and Marianne Dashwood are two sisters, one of whom is wise and cautious, and the other one is just wild and emotional all the time. And I love the character development for both of these sisters and how they learn to kind of rein in those wild emotions or not be so cautious and be willing to take risks and be willing to let other people see how you feel. I really love the two sisters and their relationship, but some of the supporting characters just aren't as strong as they could be. I mean, they are good and the plot is good, but I feel like some of our heroes who are the romantic interests for these ladies could be more strongly written, could be better characters, and so that's why this one's just kind of middling on the list. The number 3 slot goes to Persuasion. Anne Elliot is another quiet character, but hers is not so much from timidity or shyness. She's just a quiet person. The reason why Persuasion is so high on this list is, of course, Anne's very complex character, the complexity of her relationships with the people around her, and of course, the amazing love interest that she has. In this one, the hero of the story is a very complex person and has a lot of deep emotional turmoil and everything. We don't always get to see it. Sometimes it's kind of below the surface, you know, but this one has such a good slow burn love story that is so satisfactorily resolved at the end. And if you've read this, you know what I'm talking about. The letter, guys, the letter. The letter is why this is number 3 on my list. Number 2 on the list is Pride and Prejudice. Do I even need to say anything? Pride and Prejudice is so many people's favorite. Most people read this one first out of all of Jane Austen's works. It has amazing love story, incredible characters, wonderful depth and development, and an exciting plot. There's so much in here that you just have to love Pride and Prejudice. I love Elizabeth Bennet's character. I mean, who doesn't see themselves as Elizabeth Bennet? I think the thing I love the most about Lizzie is her humor. I think we would all say that, wouldn't we? This is such a funny and tragic and emotional book, and Lizzie finds a way to laugh through all of it. This book has some of the most hilarious characters in all of Jane Austen. Mrs. Bennet is very silly and nervous, and she says a lot of really dumb things that you just have to laugh at. And of course, Mr. Collins is absolutely stupid, and he's always trying to appear intelligent and refined, and he's just a clown. He's basically just a clown, and we all love to make fun of him. I would have to say that just as like literary criticism, Pride and Prejudice is definitely the best of Jane Austen's works, but it's not my personal favorite. My personal favorite is Emma. I think because I see a lot of myself in Emma, where she wants to help people and she wants to organize things and she wants to make sure that everybody's as happy as she is. But of course, when she's trying to help people, she does it often in a mistaken way and she ends up just hurting people instead. But the best thing about Emma is that she is truly remorseful when she makes a mistake, and she grows and she learns and she becomes a better person. I love her journey. I love her character development. And this book also has my favorite hero in all of Jane Austen, Mr. Knightley. The wonderful, amazing, delightful, intelligent, handsome Mr. Knightley. If I had to pick a Jane Austen character that I would want to marry, it would be Mr. Knightley. This book also has some of my favorite hilarious and charming characters. Miss Bates is ridiculous and silly. Mr. Woodhouse, it can be very silly at times, but like in a really endearing and sweet way. There's a lot of things that I love in Emma, in the plot and the different scenes and the character development and the rich writing style. Emma is just my favorite mainly because it makes me laugh. I just laugh my head off every time that I read Emma. I will just be giggling and chuckling through the entire book. And those are my rankings from my least favorite to my most favorite of all 6 of Jane Austen's works. Once again, though, keep in mind that all of these are my favorites. All of these are wonderful. All of these are 5 stars. Please leave me a comment down below and let me know what is your favorite Jane Austen book and why. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe and remember, the right book in the right hands at the right time can change the world.